The greenhouse effect is a natural phenomenon that causes the Earth's surface to get warmer. The Earth's atmosphere and surface are warmed by the absorbed energy. Even though the greenhouse effect occurs naturally, it is possible that the effect could be intensified by the emission of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere as the result of human activity. From the beginning of the Industrial Revolution and the end of 20th century, the amount of carbon dioxide in atmosphere increased about 30%, while the amount of methane more than doubled. Many scientists have predicted that human activity increases in atmospheric carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases will result in an increase in global average temperature by the end of the 21st century, compared to the 1986 to 2005 average. This greenhouse effect has the potential to change the Earth's climate, resulting in new patterns and extremes of drought and rainfall, as well as disrupting food production in some areas.
Greenhouse gas emissions have a wide range of environmental and health consequences. They contribute to respiratory problems caused by smog and air pollution, as well as contributing to climate change by trapping heat. According to Aaron Bernstein, a doctor at Children's Hospital, rising sea levels, rising temperatures, and greater precipitation are the three effects of climate change that will have the largest influence on human health. When sea levels rise, salt water can infiltrate into groundwater tables, contaminating the drinking water supply. Heat waves, another effect of global warming, can result in tens of thousands of deaths. And on top of that, due to greater precipitation, greenhouse gas emissions can also create overwhelming rains, which eventually will lead into flooding that can bring illnesses affecting the community.
So according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, during the period 1901 to 2010, the global average sea level rose to 19 centimeters, and it is estimated that by the year 2100, the sea level will be between 15 and 90 centimeters higher than it is now, and it will threaten 92 million people. When sea levels rise as rapidly as they have been, even a small increase can have devastating effects on coastal habitats. Farther inland, it can cause destructive erosion, wetland flooding, aquifer and agricultural soil contamination with salt, and lost habitat for fish, birds, and plants. Furthermore, intensification of greenhouse effect intensifies climatic events. This means that hurricanes will be more devastating as their formation is connected with sea temperature.
Transportation, 29% of 2019 greenhouse gas emissions. The transportation sector generates the largest share of greenhouse gas emissions. Greenhouse gas emissions from transportation primarily come from burning fossil fuel for our cars, trucks, ships, trains, and planes. Over 90% of the fuel used for transportation is petroleum-based, which includes primarily gasoline and diesel. And electricity production, 25% of 2019 greenhouse gas emissions. Electricity production generates the second largest share of greenhouse gas emissions. Approximately 62% of our electricity comes from burning fossil fuels, mostly coal and natural gas.
Industry, covering 23% of 2019 greenhouse gas emissions. Greenhouse gas emissions from industry primarily come from the burning fossil fuels for energy, as well as greenhouse gas emissions from certain chemical reactions necessary to produce goods from raw materials. Next, commercial and residential, covering 13% of 2019 greenhouse gas emissions. Greenhouse gas emissions from businesses and homes arise primarily from fossil fuels burned for heat, the use of certain products that contain greenhouse gases, and the handling of waste.
Agriculture, 10% of 2019 greenhouse gas emissions. Greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture come from livestock such as cows, agricultural soils, and rice production. Land use and forestry, 12% of 2019 greenhouse gas emissions. Land areas can act as a sink, absorbing CO2 from the atmosphere or a source of greenhouse gas emissions. In the United States, since 1990, managed forests and other lands are a net sink. They have absorbed more CO2 from the atmosphere than they emit.